you announced on April 2nd that you're going to be coming back for your senior season at Marshall. And I just kind of wanted to know what went into that decision for you and what kind of developments and progress do you want to make during your senior year?
Can you hear me? You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. What went into that process? We had a lot of meetings with agents prior to the week before. I mean, the week before that date that I announced that I was coming back. We had a full week of like meetings with agents. Like I'm talking like 3 or 4 calls a day, and it was pretty informative. Like they told me everything that I needed to know about if I was going to go into the draft, the pre-draft process where I was going to be working out, and I took some time that weekend, and I looked back at it, and I was, you know, trying to look at every scenario. If I was to stay, what could do this, what could I do, what could go wrong, this, that. I tried to look at both good and bad. And then I looked at if I went, the good and bad that happened. And I figured I would have a better chance of being where I wanted to be in the long run. Like, later on in my career, if I stayed my senior year. A lot of guys, it's great to be a one and done, but some of those guys you never hear from again. Or, 2-year guys, 3-year guys, those guys, play in the league, and some of those guys you never hear from, or they go to the G League. That's not my mission. My goal in life is to make it to the NBA. That's always been my goal, and it's to play, for as long as I can in the NBA. So I figure if I stayed my senior year, I had a great year last year, but I figure if I stayed my senior year, polished up what I needed to polish up, like my jump shot, that was a big question mark going into the draft. Um, I figured that if I can get one more year under my belt to practice it during games, and then that next summer, which is like the summer of next year when I do my pre-draft, it wouldn't be a question mark anymore. It would be, okay, the kid has developed his jump shot. He's ready. So I figured, from a mature standpoint, I try to look at it at a mental standpoint more so than what I really wanted to do or things of that nature. I just looked at it like what's going to help me in the long run. I felt like, staying was definitely going to help me, in times going forward. So
Yeah, and so as far as like a team perspective or a team goal, what are kind of the outline goals that the team has and things that you want to accomplish this year?
team goals, definitely we want to make it to the NCAA tournament. Us being in a league of a one bid team, you have to win your conference tournament, like the conference championship, to get in. And after last year, this past year's tournament, they might start allowing, more teams to get into the tournament from some of these mid-major programs. But as of right now, it's a one bid league, and I haven't experienced that. My sophomore year we won and they shut it down from COVID. And then last year we got upset in the first round. My freshman year we won first round, then lost the second round. So it's just been a roller coaster ride for 3 years. I think my senior year is the time to lock in and really focus in. And, sometimes last year I got laxed, and I got into this mode where I got too comfortable. And I'm man enough to say that. And I think it hurt me and our team in the end, me being a key guy, and we just didn't play the best that we could last year. So I think this year, a big goal for us, more so than winning, is trying to stay focused. With last year being the year that we had, this year we don't know what could happen. At this point, you never know what could happen in the world. So just being able to stay focused, whatever comes our way, being able to, get over that obstacle, if there is any obstacles, but remaining focused all the way through. I had a coach. We have a coach here, and he preaches to me like you got to be that guy that remains focused because everybody's gonna follow after you. And I think this year as a senior, this being my last year, I kind of have to take it personal, because I passed up on an opportunity where I could have went to the draft, to play with these guys again, which I wouldn't trade for the world. But they got to understand that as a unit, we have to be more focused. As my senior year, I'm trying to go as far as we can, So I think winning and getting to the NCAA tournament is a big stepping stone that we're trying to, get up on. But more so just staying focused, playing as a team. We lost a couple guys. So trying to get these new guys, into, our flow of things, I think. But more so just being focused is a great team goal to have this year. So
Yeah, and you kind of mentioned tournament experience. A couple of guys who just departed from the team, Jared West and Jansen Williams, were on that tournament team. And when you kind of came in your freshman year, John Elmore and CJ Burks were still here. So, what were kind of the things that you learned from whether it be Elmore or Burks or Williams or West? What did they kind of teach you about being ready for the moment or just developing as a player?
all of those guys, taught me something, from their bag or their book. Uh, I would say I put it into me, like I used everything that they had because each guy brings something different. Like if for Jared, I've never seen a work ethic like that. Like I've never seen somebody who wanted it so bad. And for a guy who's not the biggest, not the strongest, not the tallest, not the most athletic, he hands down on the court will be the person with the biggest heart and who wants it all. And at the end, if you want to win, it doesn't matter your talent, it doesn't matter your size. If you have that heart to win, that drive to win, that will, it's going to pay off in the end. So he taught me that. Even though I had a work ethic because I didn't have any offers in high school, so I had to work for everything in order to get this offer. It was like I met another guy with the same, mindset as me, the same focus as me, the same drive, and he just fueled my work ethic more. From Jansen, he was a guy who didn't really want to be a leader, but it was okay. Like he was an older guy. We all looked up to him. He wasn't making bad decisions, but he was okay showing people like, hey, I don't need to be the leader. I'm here to help. I'm a team player. I'll do whatever it is for the team. And I really respected that from him. So he taught me how sometimes you don't have to always run things or be the leader. And as a freshman coming in, I was a star on my high school team, and then you had to come in and be behind, John Elmore, things like that. So I really took key notes of that and was like, hey, you can sit back, you can impact in different ways. So I took that from him. From John, it was just the whole leadership. I knew I was going to have to step into a leadership role sometime when he left. So it was kind of like get everything that you can from him now, why he's here, him being an all-time leading scorer, all-time leader, assist, those things, like, those will go on forever. But like his leadership of some of the small things he would teach me off the court, how to do this, how to do that, his will, his way of keeping everybody up and leading guys different, not yelling at this guy. You can't lead everybody in the same way. You got to talk to people certain ways for them to, act the way you want them to act or play the way you want them to play. And he taught me that. And then from CJ Burke's standpoint, the guy was just, in my eyes, amazing. Like, I don't think he got enough credit for what he does. We still talk to this day, but it was just like he taught me the grit of it, like of college basketball. Like, he welcomed me to college basketball. Like, I tell this story to everybody who comes in here, all the freshmen. I'm just like, I'm not the bully senior, but when I came in, those guys would bully me, like literally, like strong arm me, knew I was the smaller, so they would bully me, knew I would do whatever they said because I was a freshman, so they would make sure I did things and made them carry bags and things of that nature. But also when it came to the game, he had faith in me as a senior, and that's something I instill in our players, who are newcomers or guys who haven't played in a college game and they get in, and I'm just like, hey, relax, like you've been here before, you played basketball before, it's all easy. And I remember him teaching me that and watching him do it and just feeling like, hey, I can do what he can do, and him believing in me. So I give that to our guys now. So like I say, each guy taught me something different that I've instilled within myself from these past 4 years now.
Yeah, and you talked a little bit about leadership and things like that. So I just kind of wanted to get your take on this. What is kind of your relationship with Coach D'Antoni, and what his he provided to you or given to you, or experiences that you've had with him?
Relationship is great. He was a big help for me. I wanted him to be a part of those core people who was helping me with the decision of coming back or going to the draft, and any other coach, college coach, they will want you to stay, unless it's like the blue bloods, like Calipari, they want their guys to go because they know. And with him, he wanted me to make a decision for me. If I was going to go, then that would be okay for me, and he would be behind me 100%. He would never, hate me or anything like that. He would always try to figure out, okay, well, what we got to do next. But me making the decision to come back, I think he liked that even more, of course. But at the same time, from the past 3 years, our relationship has been great. It's crazy because I took this. I had a, Going into my senior year, I had finishing my senior year, I had 13 offers. So junior year, I was worried I had nothing. Senior year, I had 13 offers. And I took this school as my last visit. Like I came here for half a day. I had like prom that day. So I had to hurry here, hurry back. So we sat in the office and I talked to Coach Dan and something about his like genuineness and things that, like I felt be like throughout us just talking, him telling me like, I'll give you an opportunity. You'll have it as equal opportunity as anybody else. It's just going to be on you if you come into work, if you listen to me, And then he has like pictures of NBA guys up in his his office, and he's like, you could be like these guys. So just take suit, listen, follow the lead of other people, other guys that are around you. And ever since then, our relationship has grown stronger. He's trusted me more. I've become that person that he looks to, to go to in clutch times and things of that nature. But also, he's a great person to have off the court. He's more than just a coach. He helps us with life decisions. If we're going through something in life, the first thing he asks us when we walk into his office, whether it's for basketball, whether it's for grades, whether it's for anything, is how's your family doing? Like, how are you doing? How do you feel? So I think I I look at that as he's more than just a basketball coach. He's like a mentor. He's like a father figure away from home for us. So
Yeah, and when we were talking about developing as a player and all those different things, um, when you go out to meet up or figure out things with other potential prospects, how does that work? So like let's say you're going out and doing like workouts with other potential prospects or players, like how does that meeting kind of get set up, and how have those experiences been? I'm sure they've been a little bit different with COVID, but is that a good experience for you?
what do you mean, like players from different schools or like players from like? Oh well, especially since this past year, it's kind of been like a shutdown situation. They haven't had as much workouts with anybody, but I've been to a couple of workouts. Like I've been to China. We played in different countries, and it was a lot of college guys on that team from different schools, and just to see where you match up against those guys, or to see, what they bring to the table, what kind of, you can just tell from how a player plays, like what kind of system he's in at his school or things like that. I think it's been very eye opening just to see where you match up with somebody. Um, I think it's been very helpful too, just to see like, okay, this guy is doing this, people like this from this guy, and I can do this, or like what can I take from their game? What can I see from their game that maybe we might play them down the road, and then I can figure out like, oh, he does this. This is his go-to move, things of that nature. So I look at it like that. I look at it as like strategy for me because I'm a competitor. So whenever I go and play with different people, I figure like, or I'll put into my head like we'll play them down the road, even if we don't. But I'll take note of what you can do, what your game, what your strong hand is, things of that nature. So.
Right. And, this is a big season, and we're all looking forward to the possibility of you joining a select few of people who are going to get drafted in the NBA. I thank you for taking this time today. I wish you the best of luck in all the off-season workouts. Continue to stay safe out there and keep working hard.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.